Is it only a matter of time before van life in the UK is banned?
It's going to be a nightmare.
In 2019, we embarked on a European road trip and it was amazing. Now, this road trip was a road trip that we was going to do in our other campervan that we used to have. But when we got closer to the time, we realised that the campervan wasn't ready to go to Greece, so we ended up going in the car. One of the things that we always said was that we wanted to go to Greece again and we wanted to go in a campervan. Recently, one of the things that we've been looking at is organising a road trip. Now, we've been speaking to some of our friends about this that you'll see in some other videos about doing a road trip to Greece. And we've been talking about it, but whilst we've been talking about it, we've came across something that's quite shocking. Greece has long been a top destination for van lifers, people with motorhomes and caravans and things, with all the stunning coastal routes, all the mountain areas that you can go to. It's somewhere that definitely for van life is a top destination to go. Van lifers enjoyed well camping in Greece, and you know what? Generally, it was tolerated. However, in January 2025, the Greek Parliament has passed a new law that introduces a new regulation that affects campervan and motorhome owners. Article 27 of this new law strictly prohibits parking or setting up campervans or motorhomes in all public areas. This also restricts public hosting in private areas. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit more and explain what that means. What this means is, it means if you go to Greece and you're in a campervan or a motorhome and you park anywhere in public, this is anywhere in public, not staying overnight, but park anywhere in public, you can get a €300 fine. Also, it means that any private parking, so let's just say you have a drive or something, you know, and one of your, you go over and one of your friends has got a motorhome and you park your motorhome on that drive, doesn't matter, you're not allowed to park there either. Private owners are only allowed to have one motorhome, and if you go there and there's more than one of you, this can also result in a €300 fine for you. Only private parking hosting that you're allowed to park at is official campsites. Now, this new law that got passed in January 2025, it's not had much public sort of recognition, if you like. Now, the reason for that is because it was kind of done on the quiet, if you like, and it's only now come to light because last month, some people from an official motorhome group in Greece, they were actually out somewhere parked up, not camping overnight, but parked up, and they all received a €300 fine. This was an official motorhome group that was over in Greece, and like I said, they were just parked up, and even though they weren't doing anything wrong, because they were parked up in public, like I said, they all got these big fines. But I said the word parking, not camping, parking. Parking in a public space in a campervan or motorhome can result in these fines. Now, this new law, it's a big shift in sort of European travel for us, and I'm certain it is for a lot of people, and obviously the Greek locals that enjoy van life. Now, supporters in Greece of this new law, they say that they are happy with this because they say it's better for the environment and it's better for urban order. Also, it's helping the local economy if they have campsites. What the new law says, now I'm going to read a little bit of this out because there's a lot of this to remember. So according to the new law, parking or installing motorhomes or caravans in a public space is now explicitly prohibited. This includes beaches, forests, parks, archaeological sites and public parking lots, amongst other areas. This also includes supermarket parking lots. The law makes no distinction between overnight stays and brief daytime stays. In practice, any activity resembling camping or extended parking will be considered a violation. You might be thinking, but if I go to Greece, my van's not registered as an official campervan, it's a campervan with windows. Let me just read this bit out in the law. The law applies uniformly to all recreational vehicles from large motorhomes to campervans. There are no exemptions based on vehicle size or nationality. Both Greek residents and international visitors are subject to the new regulations. Any vehicle that, even if it's not an official campervan, but is a vehicle that resembles a campervan and has any facilities in it, are also included in this restriction. Why are they doing this? Officials say that in Greece, that what they're trying to do is they're trying to help the economy. For example, with tourism, because van life is so popular, they say that a lot of people are coming over in their vans and things. They're not supporting local businesses, for example, campsites. A lot of campsite providers have argued that, you know, because like people are going over in the camper vans and things, that they're losing a lot of business. And apparently a lot of like locals and things are complaining, obviously because of like the popularity of van life, that like a lot of like tourist destinations, like areas that are popular, are getting too crowded and too busy. Now for us, the appeal of going to Greece in a camper van is because we've done this road trip before, and some of the areas that we want to go and explore, you know, and like be able to stay over and things, yeah, we don't well camp, you know, like in popular areas, like in front of people's houses and things like that. You know, there's some areas that, like, you know, we've really been excited to go, but now with these restrictions, it's just not going to happen. We've never stayed at any Greek campsite, so I can't like turn around and say that, like, you know, whether I think it's worth it to stay over there. But, you know, when we're like looking at the UK, some of the campsites in the UK, value for money, it just is not there at all. It's crazy because it also states that even like it says the word parking lots, but then it says supermarket parking lots. So, you know, you could be traveling in your camper van going to a campsite, and if the police or officials came and you was parked in a supermarket, sort of like getting some like essential items, it sounds like you're going to have to argue your case to prove that you're actually shopping. That's just crazy. So homeowners and campervan owners in Greece and like official like campervan clubs and things, they have expressed their concern about this, what's happening over there. Is it only a matter of time before van life in the UK is banned? So let's talk about well camping in the UK. Now, well camping, we've done other videos about this. This is not what this video is about. You know, it's open to interpretation what well camping is. But for us, exploring in the UK and, you know, going to some amazing places and things, and like, you know, obeying the #1 rule, leave no trace. Over the years, we have seen like restrictions like slowly come into force in different areas. Now, we go to Scotland a lot, traveling to all like the different areas and all the beautiful places that you can go in Scotland. And like I said, over the years, we've noticed that like each year as we go, there's more and more restrictions, like, you know, signs going up saying like no like overnight parking and things, and then like signs in different areas saying like no camper vans. But with what's happened in Greece, is it only a matter of time before, you know, the UK government like looks at this information and everything and then just basically turn around and just do exactly the same as what they've done there? If this law does come out in the UK, that's going to change so much for van life in the UK, because, you know, not being able to like park in like public areas and things, it's just going to be, it's going to be a nightmare. For us, this is also a scary situation because we enjoy the freedom of, you know, being able to go like where we want, you know, and like I said, responsibly well camping things, but being restricted that we just have to stay in campsites, again, that's another scary thought, because unfortunately, a lot of campsites in the UK, they're not good value for money. They really are not. Being restricted to have to stay at campsites, just for us, that's like, nah, that's a game changer, that. The thing that I will say about the UK though is, when it comes to like well camping, parts of the UK, they've got it right. For example, Loch Lomond, between the months of March and September, if you have a permit, you can legally well camp and stay at different areas. I keep saying, you know, if you obey the van life rules and everything, you know, like leave no trace and be responsible for like what you're doing, don't cause a nuisance in that. Like I said, parts of Scotland, they've got it right. Me personally, if a lot of like other areas in the UK, you know, were to come up with a system, you know, like where it's permit parking, you know, where you have to maybe like register like, you know, your vehicle, obviously like you park up and, you know, so it's all like registered and done and everything. And, you know, I would be happy to like pay for these permits. So what do you guys think? Do you think that, you know, banning van life, if you like, you know, overnight stays or even parking in public areas in a motorhome or a camper van, do you think that that's the answer for like the van life, you know, situation that some people say that there is? What do you think about, you know, if there was a system like put in place, you know, like with permits and things, you know, in lots of different areas that, you know, that you could like camp in responsibly? The reason that we've done this video is because I know that a lot of people won't be aware of the restrictions in Europe, and like I said, I think that my personal thought is, I think that, you know, these restrictions, I think they're only going to like just grow to different areas and things, and I think it's just a matter of time before like even like more restrictions are brought on, especially in the UK. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, and just let me know like what your personal thoughts are about like what's going on. Do you think it's something that's going to catch on and like lots of areas are going to be doing the same?